I'm all in on Zach Wilson. He's my guy. I love him. Of course, I love Trevor Lawrence, as I just discussed, but Zach Wilson, he's just got an appeal to my eye that the other quarterbacks did not have in this draft. First off, I think his talents are special. You know that. I think his throwing is out of this world special. I mean, again, I don't think anybody's really going to doubt that anymore. I think he put that to rest after his pro day, where it's like people kind of wanted to fight against it, but then they saw that and they were like, okay, that's really good. Like people like Trevor Lawrence sending out an Instagram message going, sheesh, like, which I respect out of Trevor Lawrence, like basically going like, whoa, I'm awesome, but that was freaking awesome. Like, that's cool. And that's what I think Zach Wilson is. I think he's one of those guys, if you talk to people who have seen him in person, it's always, I saw him in person. Oh, yeah, he's a little faster. Oh, he's a little more explosive. Oh, his arm, dude, the ball explodes. That's what you hear after you hear from
He's
people.
not a giant, too, but he's bigger than you think.
He's bigger than you think.
Right?
Exactly right. He's not a giant. He's Aaron Rodgers type quarterback, that size. It's 6'2", it's 215, 220-ish, right around there. But, incredible athlete, can really run. As far as, like, in the pocket, I told you before, I thought Mac Jones was probably the best in-the-pocket quarterback in the draft. I think this guy's second and capable of doing more and exceeding expectations as far as getting out of, like, crazy situations with his feet and making things happen, let alone what makes him even more dangerous in those situations than a Mac Jones is, of course, sometimes he doesn't even need to get out of those situations. He just goes, oh, wait, I'm stuck. I'm in a bad spot. I don't need to scramble. 30-yard laser sidearm. I got it. Oh, yeah. Mac, and you guys had to get out of that? I didn't. I could just stand there and still throw it. I didn't matter.
Yeah.
And those are things, again, that you can't quantify on a stat sheet or do anything like that. I didn't see him throw under pressure. Well, he stood on his back foot and threw a 40-yard laser before the pressure got there. And it didn't get there. So he didn't have to. But he was ready for it. And, there's all those things. But I love Zach Wilson's talent. I like his moxie. I do. And the fact that he's had to fight over some things in college football and all that, I think are all going to be good for him. But, yeah, I think him in the NFL, you've heard me say it, he's got Rodgers, Mahomes-ish type qualities to me that really pop out. And I think it's a perfect marriage with the Jets, and I'm really excited about Zach Wilson.
So these two are always going to be linked, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Right. Kristen, can we take a look at their 2020 seasons together? So here are, including the postseasons, what they did. They're similar, right?
Well,
they're both awesome, and it's always going to be hard to compare, and that was big.
Exactly.
We talked about that so much in the draft process. It's like, you got BYU, and then you got SEC,
right? You
got Clemson. You're playing against tough opponents, but you also got pretty good teammates there, and so those debates are really hard to have because every situation is unique and different, and it's hard to have that debate.
It is.
Right?
It's hard to have that debate. That's right. It's just you do your best to evaluate. Both are awesome. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, if we switched it around, I don't think the results are going to be a lot different on either side. I think it's going to be about what we saw. I do. And, of course, there's the BYU aspect and all that. I understand that. It's a real thing. I get it. But, again, it's not an end-all, be-all. And I think the other thing I would just say to that, again, I have no doubt that last year's film was Zach Wilson won that battle of the 2020 film versus the 2020 film of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson was better last year. I feel very confident in saying that. Now, Trevor Lawrence had to deal with COVID and a few things too. I get that. Career-wise, we know it's Trevor Lawrence. He's the guy. Did it for 3 years under the spotlight in some big situations and all those type of things. And that's where people varied, I think, in their evaluations of the two guys. One more put like into the stock of, what I see right now and this guy. And others looked at it like, what he is as a totality and where I think he's going to be and all of those things. That was Trevor Lawrence. And kind of whatever one you seem to favor seemed to be, from the ones I talked to in the NFL, it was like who they had as their number one quarterback.
Yeah. And the one argument you never hear is the quarterback that plays in the SEC on a bad team that does okay, the Kellen Mond, right? That's why I always walk away from those discussions about the schedule and No one gives those guys credit.
That was
crazy.
one of my big talking. That's what we talked about Kellen Mond last week on the podcast, and that was one of my big things. You know, I don't understand it either. It goes back to our conversation we had at the start of the podcast. For some reason, some people get this excuse, and this one doesn't. Or I'm giving this guy this excuse. This other guy has that same excuse, but I'm not going to let him have it. I don't know, but either way, I think both of these guys, I think both went to a place where the systems fit them. They've gone all in on them as their quarterbacks to support them with players and things like that. And not that I expect like eye-popping, amazing rookie years, but I think it's going to be. I would be shocked if both didn't have good years where we came away and went, "There's some growth," and I like what they're doing here.
Let's get into that comparison because Mehmet305 asked a good question: which rookie quarterback is set up to have the most success in year one based on his weapons, O-line, offensive coordinator? So we'll just do Lawrence and Wilson here.
Yeah.
So we'll go the better weapons. Who has the better weapons? Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Jets.
Ooh. I'm pulling up the
teams.
I am. I'm
pull up the teams for both teams here.
I mean, I'm excited about what the Jets have done with Corey Davis and, getting Michael Carter, of course, in the draft and doing all of that. But still, I guess
Jags might have a better running attack, ETN
and Robinson,
what he did last year.
I'm probably going to go with the Jaguars.
Okay.
Because of their offensive lines are nothing special. I think Jacksonville's O-line's maybe a little further along than the Jets. Jets have better tight ends. I do think that the Jaguars have the better wide receiving core right now. I think when you just look in, first off, DJ Chark is a borderline star at receiver.
Yeah.
He's a definite number one, really good. Laviska Shenault does a really good job. He's better than I thought he was going to be. Getting Marvin Jones, I think I look at those three. That's a pretty good three, let alone with you're talking about with the two running backs.
Yeah.
The Jets, there's potential for them to be better. I just don't know if I can call it right now with Corey Davis and, Denzel Mims, who is going to be in the second year but was hurt a little last year, and Elijah Moore, who they drafted in the second round, and Michael Carter, the fourth round. It's just like I need to see a little bit of Jacksonville has a few more proven commodities for me right now.
Can the Jets win on the offensive line? Mekhi Becton they got last year.
They're doing the right things with him, Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm missing somebody else. They did a pretty good job, I thought, in free agency too. Here, I got it in front of me. Just with some roundabout guys. It wasn't free agency. I think I'm thinking of free agency 2 years ago.
This is the ultimate test of your memory here. We're taking two of the worst teams last year and breaking them down position by position.
No, well, it's okay. I still should have a pretty good idea. But the Jets, I think, are in a pretty good spot. Both, it's very similar. The Mekhi Becton, I love that. The Jaguars have one tackle who's pretty good, who they franchised, and Cam Robinson. But then they have another one that's unproven to this point. And the Jets are kind of in that Jawan Taylor, right, who was the second-round pick. Thank you, Pete. The Jets, George Fant at right tackle, who was pretty good last year, doing that. I'm missing somebody else on their roster that I kind of like. But either way, they're right down the middle, the bottom middle as far as offensive lines are concerned.
All right, so who do you think will win more games? So PointsBet, the official sports book of NBC Sports, has both at 6.
Yeah.
Now, Jacksonville has the 8th easiest schedule, according to projected win totals.
And the Jets has to be hard, right?
Jets are in the mid-pack, 16th.
Ooh, okay. So
Jacksonville's easier. Jets are a little harder, but still mid-pack.
Yeah, mid-pack, I think. And the thing that jumped out to me about the Jets is the aspect of the start of their schedule. And do you have that pulled up? Because that's where I looked at it to be a little scary. Hold on, because my NFL Jesus, when you pull up team schedules,
it's not working right now?
Well, when you pull up team schedules, it's the worst. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, this is here is the schedule. Here you go. Kristen's pulled it up.
There we go.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can
at
see the
Panthers. Okay, toss-up game. It's not the worst. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst. Patriots, at Broncos, Titans. I mean, yeah, they're going to be the underdog in those 3 games. Falcons, okay. Then they're back with the Patriots. All right, so there's that. Do you have Jacksonville's handy, Kristen, just so I can look at that?
Oh, wow. Kristen, look at that.
She
immediately
is on the spot. Yeah, I guess I like that layout of that schedule a little bit better.
What do you mean?
Texans. Yep, so they're
Peter's
favored in
saying
that
they're
one.
favored at Texans
How could
week
they
1.
not
I
be?
guess. Yeah, I guess.
Right.
That makes sense.
Broncos, at least they get at home.
Cardinals
yeah, I mean, it's not
tough.
a whole lot easier, but
At
okay.
Bengals,
I
that's
guess if
easier.
you're going to make me pick one right now, I'll go Jacksonville.
You think Jacksonville wins more games?
I do.
Okay.
I
All right.
guess what I'm only giving them, I just feel like they have a little easier of a schedule to gain some momentum and confidence compared to the Jets, and I'm big into that start of the season.
Well,
as you know.
either way, those are two exciting quarterbacks. Number 28, Trevor Lawrence. Number 27, Zach Wilson.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.